Namaste, blessings, welcome. This show is about, as we all know, it's Father's Day, so it's about fathers, mainly my father, and I perceive it as the father, as in the sun god. But once you dig into it, you understand why I call it the father. But basically, called the sun god, and the sun god Ra, the entity Ra, the energy of Ra. It all links up, but you have to dig into it to understand how it all how it all evolves into one. But basically, in 2012, when I started becoming a spiritual healer, or a healer, as many people know, as um, like channeling just energy that was coming through me, all sorts of energy, spirit guides, desperately wanting to come through my energy, channel through good energy to help others. That's what I've been doing since 2012. But since 2012, my life has changed, evolved in a lot of different ways. And I'm not just talking about my hair, I'm talking spiritually, the way I have to think, the way I perceive the world, the way I perceive everyday life. But in 2012, I started awakening. A year into my journey, understanding a lot of deep knowledge and deep understanding of knowledge, and I could understand it for some reason. I didn't know why, but I just went with it because it felt right. I went with gut instinct, and I have ever done since. And well, I'm still on the journey. It's progressing. But a year on into my journey, as well as like spiritually evolving, I was realising obviously the world's not the way it is known to be, and the way I was programmed, as I know it's been programmed, we was all being brought up to know the world as a different place. Anyway, so I've looked into law, the common law, natural law, other kinds of law, legislation as well, and so I was understanding the law. I was digging into the secret societies. I I understand a lot about the Freemasons, the good and the bads. Uh, you know, in everything we get the good and the bad. But well, when I actually approached or come to the Freemasonry uh, subjects come to my way, my path, it was mainly bad stuff. I was mainly hearing just bad, the negative side of Freemasonry. But once you understand, really understand, you know it's not totally bad. Um, a bad thing to be a Freemason, or to have that knowledge of a Freemason even, because you can only obtain that if you're a Freemason, and not every day someone becomes a Freemason. So anyway, but this information started coming to me mentally, channeling through my thoughts randomly, and obviously physically things came into my way, in my path. It's what I mean, orchestrated. It's physically orchestrated, but it's spiritually orchestrated through energy, through you know well, orchestrated, like just like a musician, but through the energies, pulling strings, just like puppets. But we're not puppets. It's just like they're pulling the strings, and making everything happen for us, basically. And so I started understanding a lot of stuff to do with Freemasons, to do with the law, to do I was understanding how most of them get away with the law, as in we know, the public know the law, as in England or the United Kingdom, we know it as the legislation, the legal, the civil law. And as a youngster, I used to always get pulled up by the police, get harassed by the police, get troubled by the police, and so there's all different kind of reasons and meanings behind why I started understanding, or started this knowledge came my way. But on top of that, uh, the little minor stuff, I started understanding the law, as in, the sovereignty law, you know, consent, and you're not obliged to talk to the officers unless, you're actually being charged for that crime. They can't just pull you up for suspicion. I used to always get pulled over, and all the youths do get pulled over for suspicion of, whatever, and it's not run properly. And so I started understanding all this stuff. Once I started understanding all this knowledge, I just couldn't wait to get it all out. I really couldn't wait to get it all out. So as many people understand, well, people know even, I've been spreading around Facebook and YouTube and whatnot about the common law, and the knowledge that's come my way. I've passed it on, shared it to other people, privately and publicly, because at the end of the day, it's freedom of speech. It may be on Facebook, we may be consenting to their agreement or their legislation to do it Facebook, but at the end of the day, like I said, you only have to read the birth certificate, don't you, really? So I'll say no more on that. But anyway, I started understanding all this knowledge and all this information. Because what it is, it's information. Everything's information. Spirit guides information. Knowledge is information. But once I understand all this, I want to get it all out. I started getting these other random, well, not random, but like these synchrony, I can't actually pronounce the word, but it's very symbolic, these readings that I was getting with random and a specific medium, but random readings from different mediums. Because you've got to understand that I wasn't a medium, and I don't like to claim any titles, but I wouldn't say I'm a medium. I'd say more like a healer. I'd rather claim the title as a healer than the medium. But these mediums was telling me that I'm this, or I can obtain and become my full potential as as a human being with a spiritual understanding of a spiritual understanding of awareness, and where we live and what this illusion and this upside down world is. Anyway, I started to understand all this, and at the same time my father actually passed away, and before he passed away I was wanting to get all this knowledge out, and I was known locally as a healer in a way. My friends know, so I went, and I was going up to my dad's 2 weeks before he actually passed away. Now you've got to understand, and most of you probably would do if you're new to spiritual stuff. When you dig into all the occult or the this hidden knowledge, and once you understand, people don't understand that you understand this knowledge, and once you start healing people, and they start passing away about 2 months after or 3 months after, they'll turn around, they'll think in a way, because I've got a good awareness of what people think, and one or two people I thought, I picked up that they thought it's the devil's work, or it's a devil's work basically, that you're working with the devil, and you're killing these people off basically through putting energy into them. Anyway, cut story short, my dad's, I done some healing, all the chakras, it's all, he loved it anyway, and put him out of free pain for 2.5 weeks before he slept, and then he passed away, and which is, it's blessed to know that he actually passed away in his sleep. And I didn't really think that he's gonna pass. I knew that he was really, really ill, don't get me wrong, but didn't really, and none of my brothers and myself, none of my family, which we knew he was ill, but we didn't actually know he was that ill. He had COPD, and if you know about that, then you don't need to know anymore, but If you don't, you need to Google it if you're interested, because it's hard to explain and it's really emotional to talk about. But it passed with CIPD, and I felt like he went with a heart, and I've been told he's went with a heart attack at the same time as going through sleep. So he's sleeping, and you pass at the same time, and that's a click on a kettle. And like, you guys don't know anything about my life or anything in our relationship, but my dad and myself, we got this relationship, and good and the bad, we like chalk and cheese, but in the good relationship we had these symbolic things, and one of the symbolic things was like tea bags or kettles or teas or anything to do with drinking teas, because he loved these teas basically, and I also love teas, which I've got to give up soon, which I know I've got to do some sacrificing, so that's what I'll have to do. But so when that kettle just went off, that was just enough confirmation for me that I'm going on what I'm picking up. And it's really, people say, yeah, you can pick up your parents or your own family when you become a healer and all that, but it's not actually easy to, and I don't pick up voices and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't really know how to describe it really. It's just feelings and senses and thoughts and whatever. But I've got an earache as well, so that's why I'm holding my ear, and I've also woke up with a toothache as well. But when I started, all this, the truth started coming to me, and then my father passed away after I'd done some healing. It was quite shocking, but it wasn't shocking to make me think at any time of of my journey, or as a person, to ever think, don't go there as a spiritual person. I was going with it because I knew naturally I knew it was his time to go. Subconsciously, that's why I'm aware now. I wasn't aware back then, but I'm aware now. Subconsciously, he was ready to go, but he went at the right time, and I went and done the healing at the right time. Now I don't want to discuss private matters, like private things with other people, so I won't mention names. But there was another experience I've had with not father, but it was my friend's mother, and I'd done some healing on her, and she passed away in her sleep. So and once you really do understand how it all works and what natural really means, and what what divine really means, once you understand that, you'll know it's not devil's work. It's you just helps them transit basically and transcend into the light. My dad, my dad wasn't spiritual at all. Well, he was in some way, of course, but he wasn't He wasn't one to. I don't talk posh, so don't get me wrong, but he wasn't one to project um, projects that he was spiritual. He wouldn't show that he's spiritual. He wouldn't show that he's aware of not the knowledge that I've picked up and stuff, because he's not, and I know he's not. It's more my uncle that was I feel that he was Freemason, and I feel that that's where I get all my a lot of my knowledge actually from my uncle, because channeled through. And I'm getting so much, and I just want to say so much to do with it, but so I'm taking my time. But uh, so yeah, it's very emotional for me as a person, as Alfie, to understand what's going on in my life. I knew it spiritually, deep down, subconsciously, however you want to perceive it. I knew it was meant to be. It was, it just happened because it was it's meant to be, and I helped, if anything. And I'd never thought it's to do with devil's work. Never thought I put any negativity in. I never thought anything along them lines. But I did, as a person, as Alfie, did, you know, in my head, it emotionally, excuse my French or my swearing, but it like emotionally fucked me up, because the reason why it did is because me and my dad was like chalk and cheese. And I'm sorry if any of you, have gone through this similar experience with your parents. So, be my guest cut cut off. But I'm gonna start talking deep, because that's how I start. That's how I flow. So yeah, emotionally it got to me, and as a person, as Alfie, it emotionally messed my head up. But at the same time, as Alfie, as a person, not spiritually, but as a person, or as a materialistic person, I was understanding death and how we transcend, and the transition and transformation. Because I was, spiritually transformation. I was sorry, I was transforming, not physically, in my being. And I think I felt like most people picked up, but they wasn't aware that what I was getting up to. They just thought I wouldn't talk to them at the moment. So a lot of people, as at the start of my journey, was not talking to me for some reason, and I'm not really fussed. So as a person, I was letting that be. I was, blessed be that whatever. But over the years, I've naturally started engaging with a lot of other people, a different crowd of people as well. My dad wasn't religious, so spiritual. He was baptized, or it says on the little certificate that I've got. It says that he was baptized as a Christian. So I'll put that on camera, and I'll tell people now he was baptized as a Christian, whatever it is. But he wasn't he wasn't he wasn't a ten sin. He wasn't from the 10 sins or the Bible. Let's say. And everyone's spiritual one way or another, but it's the way you channel your energy, the spirituality that you're channeling. You've got your alpha, you've got to work in love and light, or you've got to intend to work to be love, and intend to be light. And if you're intending to be something, the energy flows, and it will happen, and it has been happening. So as it's emotionally getting to me, I was understanding death. So this is why I couldn't talk until now, because I've not had the courage really. It's not the confidence, but I've had always the confidence to go around telling people what I felt or thought, but I've not had the courage to go and tell people worldwide, and I am going to tell people worldwide how, from now on, how I feel the truth, because I've fully understood. I've understood a lot, but I've fully understood a lot of other stuff. I won't go into it, but I've understood that if you're truthful, or you just speak the truth, you've got nothing to fear. And that's the way to live your life. So that's my intention. I don't know what my father's intention was, because when he passed away, because I didn't know my uncle, I didn't know anything. Well, I knew his name mostly because I was named after him, and my close friends would know my full name. They know that I was named after him. So I didn't have no knowledge about my uncle in that aspect. But my father, obviously, I did. But the knowledge-wise, as in spiritual knowledge or occult knowledge or knowledge about the secret societies, my father had no idea at all about them. My uncle, on the other hand, did. So that's why the connections all come through, and the energy flows. it gets through the family relationship, through the frequencies, whatever you want to call them, and that's how it's picked up very quickly as well. But my father left me with a lot of questions, not really questions for him personally, about the life, the way he treated me in some aspects, and or my experiences with him. It's not questions on that behalf, but it's questions on why did I start my journey as he, transcend, has he died as a normal person would perceive? How comes, why did I start my journey? Has he, when he died, it's like when he died as a soul, as a person, I've evolved in spiritually talking, yeah, and still question that today. I do, because before he died, before he actually died, for a good few months now, at the time, I was questioning a lot about the secret societies, my uncle, how they're connected, have we got anyone who'd be more connected to other people, that I won't say right now, but the connections, and he had no knowledge, or he wasn't giving it out anyway. So before he went, I did bombard him in some aspect with a lot of questions on that behalf, about why didn't he tell me this, why didn't he tell me that. But you know what, and it's took me quite a long time to understand fully, but I've understood it, and I'm prepared to share it. But now I've understood why this happens, and it is Father's Day as well, so and I don't believe in coincidences, so I believe it's all prepped and it's all orchestrated to happen right this second in time. But basically it's all about transition, and transition is a big subject, because people don't really understand it, and when they think they do understand it, at least in questioning it, messes up your head. When it, like mine back in 2013, I started getting depressed, really depressed, and that's because all the negativity, the negative thoughts that I was putting out, well, not putting out, but thinking in my head. And obviously now I've understood that I was meditating, but at the time I was channeling my anger towards my dad for treating me the way he did, and that's private information, so I won't go into that. But and I don't understand why, and I don't really care now, because I've understood that. I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about what's going on now, what's important in my life, what's good for my higher self, and what's good for my soul on the journey. And it's all about a transition. So I think that's what I mean. It leads to different subjects. Everything happens for a reason. It happens rather. It happens for a reason, but not a reason to understand as a person, but to understand spiritually. So I'm saying my dad passed away because personally he's in pain, and personally he's ready to go, and spiritually he's ready to go, because personally, as a person, he was hinting on he wanted to go soon, but and the morning that I actually saw my dad, I didn't handle it. When I say handle it, I didn't, the emotions just got over me. I started crying. I'll never forget that time, and I'm sure you will never forget the time if you ever saw someone close to you, a loved one, at that time. At that time, we as a people, we don't understand this, and it's because of this confusion, the illusion, the world as we perceive it, the programmed frequency, and we haven't got no choice. But when we become, well, even when we're young, but when we're young, we get mind programs, mind control programs by TV programs and magazines leading up to movies or whatever. But when you become a young adult, the age of 18, 19, whatever a young adult should be, but at that age, I think it should be equal and fair, that everyone should be, have that right to be aware of spiritual knowledge, because, and to understand, fully understand how we develop as spiritual beings and evolve, and the transition around this, and to understand why it's all orchestrated and why it's all orchestrated in the way it is. Because as people, we, at the time I didn't really think, let me think. At the time, I just thought, well, obviously I was crying, emotional, I was really shocked. I'm not really prepared to share this bit, but basically I had my own perception of what happened. Let's say, okay, I had my own perception of what happened here on the night he didn't, the night he went to bed. I know what happened. I've been told by a medium, and I'm not going to say names, and I feel and I know what happened. But basically, the next day, it hit me like, bombarded me with tears and questions as well. But at the same time, the tears came out because I was so confused about. I didn't know at the time. I wasn't aware of transition and how transition works. It works in a way you have to really try and understand. If you've got the intention to do it, you're trying to do something, you're intending to do that, so because you're trying over, whatever, however long it takes your soul to understand, your awareness to understand, and then you will. And when I say I fully understand from my, this is what I mean, I fully understand from my soul or my awareness to understand at this moment in time on my journey. Because I know there's a lot of, a lot of other people out there who understands a lot of, not just understands, but picks it up automatically. And as much as people want to say, yeah, I'm a good healer and whatnot, I appreciate that, but I can't instantly pick up spirits to give out mediumship readings. So, I don't fully understand it as in that way, but I fully understand it as in what my soul is to understand right now. Understand transition from my soul to understand it, and that's what I'm saying about everyone and anyone who engages me through Facebook, social media, or personal experiences, or throughout my life. You need to stop, looking at the TV for answers, or looking at TV for another way of, another perception, or a different way of understanding or looking at the world or understanding life. You've got to, oh, okay, right, well, I'm not saying all the information is on the internet. All the information is on the internet, but I'm not saying it's all true, because it's not. This way you've got to work as a spiritual person. Humanly, personally, as a human, you can go on the internet, research, as we know it as, and investigate. And spiritually, because you're intending to understand something, when your soul or your awareness, or however you want to perceive it as, is already on your journey as a spiritual person, it will come to you, and you'll understand it at that time. So if you don't fully or understand it as other people understand something, don't feel bad or don't feel like, because some people have actually messaged me and said, look, I feel I'm really depressed basically, and I'm really feeling low, and I'm feeling like I can't do this, can't do that, and it took me a day and a half to give the other person some encouragement to actually do what I'm trying to tell other people, and that's why it's hit me really hard, that I've got to share whatever comes out of me, just share it. And what I'm telling you now is to go out and, when you come to something on the internet and you think, oops, like, well, like, hang on a bit, like, it don't make sense, or, if it don't make sense, there's a reason why it don't make sense. It's because there's some truth there, but your perception is confused, and it's because it's confused, you don't know what to pick. So you've got to spiritually meditate basically on that aspect of your life. And once you understand that, talking about transition there, for your soul to understand it, you feel prepared to share it. So this is what I'm saying. So you need to go out and research, investigate, meditate. This is what I do. I just, I research a lot, I investigate a lot, mentally think about a lot of stuff, and then I actually take time out. I do now. I never used to. It's taken me 3.5 years to get to this point, but I've actually taken time out to actually meditate, like properly switch all the electrics off and just sit there, however I want it to, or however you want it to, and just, even if I'm smoking a joint or just chilling out, sleeping or laying on the bed, I'll just think. But when I say think, I mean, like, this time I'm talking about thinking. I'm talking about real meditation, and I don't mean because of the cannabis. I mean meditating as in deep thinking. I've, you know, without going into the smoking bit, yeah, I smoke the old cannabis, but I take time out not to smoke, like when I meditate. So I've got a clear channel, I've got clear, conscious, or got clear awareness of what's going on and what I'm understanding and what I'm developing or what I'm channeling, and obviously, still now I don't actually understand or fully pick up who I'm channeling, but I've got a good idea, and when that good idea or that good feeling is there for at least a year or 6 months, and it's there, you're prepared to go and share it to other people, and that's what I've done, and I'm not going into the names that I can pick up or pick up their thoughts, but that is, if you go into my SoundCloud or look on my website, you'll see bits and bobs, and you'll understand for what you need to understand about what I get up to, and most of you actually do, so don't mean that. And it's Father's Day, and it's about fathers. In this show it's about my father's, his transition through life. I won't go through his past because I've talked about his past and how he's been brought up or programs. It's actually called programming. It is actually programming, but we call it brought up or born into this world, the old world that he was brought up in World War II time, and as we're brought in or these babies now brought into the new world, or they have Starseeds for a long time now, but for the last 5 to 10 years, or even at least 15, 16 years now, they've been coming more and more and more and more and more and more over the years. These particular Starseeds, I'm telling you, these particular ones, there's loads out there, but these particular Starseeds with these bright blue eyes, or bright eyes with nice colour, eyes bits. These ones that are blue eyes and that blonde hair, these ones, or these, these stars, sea children. We've got loads of names to call them, but I'm telling you now, if you've got a starseed child right this time present, if you can find out their blood test and get back to me, I'd really love to know, because I feel at least 99% of them children right now have got that RH negative blood, and there's reasons behind it, and I can back up the information if you want to private message me or reach me on my network group page, and I'll talk about it. But basically, there's loads of connections and there's loads of dots to connect, and if you connect all the dots, there's a lot of star seeds, and we're all star seeds in one way or another, one aspect or another, one perception or another. But these particular star seeds have got the gifts straight away, and the reason being is because Mother Earth, or the Earth as we call it, or the energy grid on this Earth, or being brought up, it's been boosted. We perceive it as people perceive it as boosted up, but we, or not me, myself, let's say the people during my childhood and before my childhood, so probably before I was born as well. So people like David Icke, because he was starting out in the 1990s. There's a lot of other stuff to do with David Icke that I've actually connected up, and I understand a lot of other information to do with Icke and myself, and it's not just the reading that I've got saying that I'll be working with him, and on the O2, that's all well and good, that's great, but there's other connections and dots connecting up every day, and I'm in no rush to work with him, but I'm not in the rush, but I'm understanding quite quickly actually the connections between us. But there's other people between that time that I was just talking about, who been light workers and Pleiadian ambassadors, and these people on Earth raising the consciousness, basically the point is, and they've been doing this for a long time. Now it's my time, it's our time to raise consciousness for the children that are actually being born right now, and that's one of our higher purposes as a collective consciousness, to one of our purposes, and we need to understand that as well. So there's a lot to understand, and it takes a long time, but it's worth it. And people say to me as well, it's frustrating, or other people also said they want to reconnect and whatever. But what you people need to understand, which it's taken me a while to understand, but I've really been aware, but it's not understood properly, is that you've got to be some kind of aspect of thinking. You've got to be some kind of selfish. You've got to take time out from whatever you get up to, if you can possibly, and start researching for yourself. And the reason why I say that, it's not because it's selfish as in a negative vibration. It's actually a good one, because the reason why it's a positive connection is because you're reconnecting with your higher self, and you're reconnecting with the collective consciousness, whoever, all over the galaxy, all over the world even. Okay, well, you're probably thinking now, so what's the point? I'll get to the point in a minute with my father, but the point is with Ra, is that all this time I've had this strong energy force behind me, pushing me and pushing me and pushing me and pushing me, to where I've got now over the years. Obviously, it's a collective consciousness of a gathering of beings, or gathering of consciousnesses, to make one big one. An energy grid will push me forward, like we all do. But I've had this entity, or this vibration, that I pick up and I work with a lot, especially on very sunny days. I'm talking about the entity god, Greek gods, Ra. And the being, well, I'm not going into the myths and the mythology, because I'm not really into sharing because I don't really understand it to share, so I'm not going to, but I do understand it myself. And it's the sun god in one aspect if you see it. And and in 2012 when I went to Thailand, I had these two tattoos. I won't show the other one, but on my right hand I've got the all-seeing eye, basically. And with a little message, my life is my message. And the reason or the meaning behind that is because subconsciously I knew that this entity, this force was pushing me, but I wasn't prepared, and personally I wasn't ready to understand that. And now what I have done for a long time, and now sharing it with you, because a lot of other people connected to the sun gods or the sun ray or the energy, that particular vibration, and a lot of people are connected with this vibration in particular. Like some of them, one out of at least five, or not even that, one out of three or something, at least got RH negative blood. And this RH negative blood, the rhesus negative blood I'm talking about, it's not the Dracula blood exactly. It's not that exactly, but it's quite confusing. But the blood that we have, the public, in the public eye, the public domain, the blood, the genetics that we hold, the RH negative, it's not the same as the royal family bloodline in that aspect. It's very angelic, and there's a very demonic. So there's a big difference, a big difference. We work in love and light, and they work with bad intentions, no conscious, no awareness. I don't give a damn about the future of humanity or what's good for the higher purpose of humanity. That's why I believe and I feel and I know in my own awareness that it's right and it should be. If meditation is taught in school, one, I believe and I feel, well, I know, and if you all think about it, it's actually quite true. When you start meditating, you can get lost on different channels, different frequencies even, or different awarenesses, and you can pick up, or you can get attached with different electrical or different entities. You can get attached to these spirits, good and bad aspects of it. So this is why I feel like it's important, as well as meditating in school and teaching or however they're doing it. I don't actually know. I should look into it really more. But all I know is that they meditate in school now, and I feel that they don't actually teach them the right way of meditating. Basically, I feel they probably manipulate their energies in some aspects, and most probably program them in some aspect as well. The teachers or the actual people who come around to teach this meditation in schools, I don't actually know, but I will look into it. So I feel like it's important that they actually get taught how to write, how to do it in the right way, or with good intentions and within love and light. And these words, these phrases are important, because every word, every letter even you say or write down or even think of, it's an intention. And if everything you put out there, you get back, and you will go there. So if you're intending to write a letter, that vibration is going to be out there. And obviously when you write a letter, that vibration builds up some kind of particular energy grid. When you receive that letter and you read it, the energy force that you get from that reading that letter goes whoosh. And you know why? Because I've experienced it. I've read 2 or 3 letters of my dad's to and from different galleries or different auctions, and I've read them, and the energy from the letter not from the actual what it's about, but the actual vibration. So it's got to be something about it. But the energy that I picked up, or the thoughts that hit me, was really, really hard, and that was because it was a strong message, or a strong letter, written letter, and all the letters are vibrations. So when you write your name or date of birth, etc., you know, you're putting vibrations out there. So you've got to watch what you write and or type or think even. That's what I mean about this. Everything, you've got to try and understand it, but one bit by bit. Don't take your time. Don't rush into things like I did, because once you rush into things, you start, especially if you've got Asperger's or you're autistic, or you know, you're if you think like that, please don't rush into things like I did, because if you do get a bit confused, and it takes longer to process and progress on your journey. But everyone will, in their right way of understanding life and understanding these, whatever you've got to come into your life, because I research and investigate these particular subjects because they come into my life or my spiritual journey. But that's me, and obviously, you know, I've seen a lot of people, and I'll give a lot of credit, even though they probably wouldn't take credit, but I'll give a lot of credit to other people on YouTube, putting out there a lot of other different videos and what I put out there, and you know, doing a lot more work than me. But it's not about how much work put out there. I'm just saying, you know, they're more accurate than me with some particular things. But when it comes to you know, secret societies and the bloodlines and starseeds and whatnot, because I've experienced myself, you know, I've developed so much knowledge, not too much, but so much for my own good to understand, and I can share it. So if we're all on the same wavelength that we all should be, in that right time, and it will happen, then we all will understand life and the way it's supposed to evolve from birth to death, and the way it, you know, transcends from death. Because a lot of people, that's what my point is as well. A lot of people, you know, when they hear death, and you know, when they experience that, and or when they hear about, you know, people passing and stuff like that, or that particular word, we all don't like, really, because it's not nice for word, really, to put it. I'd rather put it as they transcend or evolve even, and that's what we're doing, but not as a person. And you know, it's our, we can't help it as human people, because we've got egos. Whether we you know, got a big ego, or a small ego, or you know, balanced out ego, I don't know, but what I do know is we've got to balance this stuff out, and you know, it takes work. So bit by bit, that's what's important. And I think I should take my own advice, because I do rush a lot. But the reason is because it's just this energy that was in for me. So that's why I've got, you know, try and balance it out more, and ground myself more, and receive more healing. For some reason, I can't receive from many people unless it's in person, and I feel comfortable, because for some reason I don't really know why. I'm not trying to understand it, shall I say, why this happens, but I feel like I'm protected in that way, because you know, if you're being sent something like healing, for an example, and your soul, or for some reason, and you know, as a person you may not be aware, but for some reason your soul, you know, could be different to two different things. Could be they don't consent to it for some reason, which, you know, some people meant to be, so they don't want healing, because that's the way their soul wants to work in this lifetime. It's just the way I understand it anyway. And and the ego, the human side, takes over for us, and that's why we let these emotions out, and that's why it is. But I'm not saying it's not good to cry, because it bloody is. It really, really is good to cry. But all I'm going to say on that is when you show your weakness, you show your what people can get advantage on you. So don't put out too much weakness. But yeah, releasing that tears is the best thing ever, because it's releasing toxins and all that stuff, and obviously emotional, mentally or spiritually, um, um, the perception, it's all coming out and you're releasing toxins, so it is good. But that's what I'm saying, you've got to try and get over this ego as human beings, not as people, because a lot of people don't really have it's coming my way at the moment, and recently they balanced it out, so it's like I'm shifting in different kind of aspects of my life at the moment, because it's like friends wise and people I'm talking to, and mentally, spiritually, even materially, it's all different, it's all changing different ways, little ways, but it all matches up and it all connects up, and that's why it keeps me going every day. And if it didn't, I don't know what happens. What I have in my picture is the same picture that, and I don't really get pictures, but it's the same picture that I've got of my dad sitting down having a cup of tea and at his table watching the Sunday bookies, what they're called, Sunday horse racing. I used to like that. That's another little a little connection, symbolic connection thing we've got going on. Horses, or well, not really horses, but horse racing, and like cup of tea or kettles, like I said. So yeah, our connection's developing, let's say. So that's built up, but like I said, he passed away in 2013. It's 3 years on, and I've developed a lot as a spiritual person. I've changed a lot different ways, and it's not just I've not just grown a beard and grown my hair for fun. It's happened for a reason, and I'm not saying it's to look good, because it really isn't. I'll tell you what, because it don't look good, it looks so rough, and I'd rather look this year, to be honest, because it's what, before I end the show, I'm going to cut in it, but before I go, it's all about getting rid of that look, that oh look at me, or that way of thinking. I'm saying I'll grow my hair, not really my beard, because I just grow it for the natural reasons and other reasons, but with the hair particularly, I grow it, and same reason, but not really. I've noticed that my beard's not actually growing as much as my hair, but it's because I've learned a lot about electricity and how we connect and the frequencies and stuff. Once you understand all that stuff, you can understand how we transmit from our third eye, and understand how our hair or our beards can help transmit different connections or different channels to different areas. And once you start working with a particular channel or a particular thing in your head, and you process that or progress the connection, and obviously growing your hair over the years, because it does take years to do. This is why the Jamaicans and the Africans grow their hair and put it up in the top knot and braid it sometimes, because and they don't. I'm not too sure if they, because I don't know any Jamaicans or people who actually do it, but and I've not asked people I do talk to who's got enough rows and that, all that, but I understand, and I'm very aware that there's a particular substance, I don't remember the name of it right now, and that substance basically helps the energy around us build up. So it's like a transmitter. We've got a transmitter, down here, the third eye, whatever it is, third eye area. We've got this transmitter on this side, and that's our hair, or our third eye, you want to call it. And it all connects up into one. And that substance in the thing to make a transmission or a connection, build up connection, it connects to the crown chakra, obviously, and it also it channels through the stellar gateway, or the gate, um, the lion's gate, I think it's called, or something like that. I forget that name, but I know it's the stellar gate, or the 8th chakra, and it's the white, basically the crystal clear clarity channel. Once you connect to that particular higher self, people know it as, and then you can get lost into a lot of a lot of transitions, transmissions, and channels, and we can also not get lost, but get driven away, and you forget where you are, and go different galaxies and whatever. Or people perceive it as different galaxies, but it's actually different frequencies. The way you perceive the frequencies to be, and what you really perceive frequencies to be, I suppose. So it's a lot to understand there, but you get what I'm saying there. So I've had, so yeah, that's why I get confused, because that's how I channel through the higher self, and then it connects to whoever's putting things through my channels. As long as it's not through, as long as I'm not intending to harm anyone, or anything malicious, or anything dangerous, or anything not good feeling, as long as it's not anything like that, and then I don't think, so I'll say, or I don't intend to connect. And if you don't intend to connect, you'll disconnect when you're ready, when your soul's ready, and I'm sure it will happen straight away. And I'm sure Archangel Michael will be there to protect you. I see it's the guardian angel for all people, all the humanity. So I'm going to end the show there. I hope you was getting what I was saying, and I hope it helps one or someone to understand something. But you do get lost, and I'm just me. And if you don't like that show, then well, bless it be.